Hello everybody, Bruce here with a short video on text columns in HTML and CSS. Now, this is the sample code from the book. Okay, you can see here we have 3 columns, and there are 4 CSS properties that you need to know about for columns. Column count, which is the number of columns that the text should be divided into. Column gap, that's the width between the columns. Otherwise, this is set by default. Column rule defines a border between 2 columns. Column span, with the value all, this property can be used to have an element that's a child of an element that's formatted with columns span all of the columns, not currently supported by Firefox. I don't know if that's true anymore, but I will find out and let everybody know. So let's take a look at this again. So we have 3 columns. Let's look at this sample code here, which also, by the way, it's available right here. There's 2 examples that I'm going to have in this video. So here's just a body tag with an article. And articles are required to have an H1, paragraph, 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 some emphasized text, and that's pretty much about it. An article, by the way, is something that can be reused in its entirety on another site. So think about that when you need to use an article. It's a complete, article, right? Like an article in a newspaper is a complete article. It has the, it's got a title, an author, and the information, right? And you can take that article, right, like you used to do in school for current events, right, and share it with others, right? So let's go into the CSS. And we have article here defined with a width of 754 pixels, and that's what you're seeing right here. This is 754 pixels. It's got 25 pixels of padding, which is inside the box, inside the border. Now, these browser prefixes here, I don't think you really need them, because I think these browsers now, right, WebKit browsers, like Chrome and Safari, right, will use those. So watch this. See, it's still all the same when I took those out. And I did try this earlier in another browser. So let me just do this so you can make it more readable here. Okay. So we got the width, we got padding, we got column count 3. I wanted it in 3 columns. I wanted the gap between the columns to be 35. And then I wanted the column rule, that vertical bar, to be 2 pixels solid black. Okay? And the font size of the H1, I made it 170% of what it should normally be, and I gave it margin top of 0. Okay? So there's that. Now watch this. Okay? If I make this 1,000, right? You can see that it now spans over across 1,000 pixels. Okay, let me change that back. If we change the padding from 25 to 50, okay, look what happens. Okay, there's some space here that you can't really see. In fact, I'll show you how to see that, right? So if you add a border, like that, and I'll just put black 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Yeah, there's a line here. So let me adjust the padding so you can see what's going on. Okay, so let me just make it, I'll make it 150 pixels. So see what happened? We got a lot more padding. Hey, it looks like a newspaper, right? So I'm just going to back that stuff out. Okay, just stepping back. Oops, I went too far. What if I make the column gap 35? Let's make it 70 pixels. So the column gap now is 70 pixels. It looks like it's a little wider. Let me just go back and do that again. Did it change column gap? Yeah, it definitely is bigger, right? So let me put that back to 70, and you can see, right? See, there's more space in the gaps, right? So the other thing, let's try 5 columns. Let's see what happens there. Oh, hard to read, but something like that is doable, right? So let me go back to 3. Then the column rule is 2 pixels. Let's just make it I don't know, 10 pixels. So it's a fat, column rule there. And that's it. And notice where the H1 is here, because in the next movie, not the next movie, in the next example, I'm going to show you how to make this H1 here. Is it an H1? Let's see. Yeah, it's an H1 span across the top of all of those, all right? So let me open that up. That's going to be layout. This is my stuff right here. Text column. Let me see if this is it. I think this is it. So let me preview it in live server. Dunk dunk. And there it is. So notice the heading now is across. It's spanning across all the columns. So how do we do that? Let's look at the CSS, because the HTML is identical. Okay, so let's look at the style.css. And the H1 now has this additional property down here on line 22, column span dash all. Column span dash all. And let's comment it out. See, now it's not spanning. And I'll go here, put it back in, and now it's spanning across the top of all the columns. I don't know about you, but 3 columns is hard to read, let alone 2. But just know that you can do it, and I think it's kind of cool. You may have a need to do this in your HTML career. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.